take the stage, bringing news from a different page. Truth served hot and bold and strong. Every week we sing along. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Stories that make you think and pray. A light awaits at the end of day. Guided by the stars and stripes, through the stormiest of nights. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. When the world feels like a fight, hold your ground, stand for what's right. In the truth we'll find our way. Ed and Ronnie light the way. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Together we find unity.
Woohoo! Almost there! Phew, made it! Now for some TV. All right, Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie. This is gonna be great!
Members of Congress, people of Earth, the time for secrecy is over. Watch Ed and Ronnie. Get the truth. The answers you seek are within reach. The future depends on it.
Hey, welcome to Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie. We actually both had our own little video clip there. The Cardinal one obviously was directed at me and my love for the Cardinal baseball team, but more importantly, Cardinal birds. And then the alien, Ronnie, you have your very own personal video right there.
Yes, I liked it.
It is. What's going on?
Actually, not much. That's the problem. We need some more news here.
Well, we talked about this earlier today. The current news cycle is the same as it's been for, a few weeks now. We've got the kidnapping situation going on. We've got Iran going on. We've got things in Congress that continue to roll over and over. And not that we want anything bad to happen to add to the news cycle, but we could use some fresh news.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, even MSN, I just scrolled through. It's talking about how Bad Bunny will not be paid for his Super Bowl performance. That he's less than 12 hours away from his famed Super Bowl performance. That was days ago. Come on, catch up here, MSN.
Yeah, we want news. We want news. And so with that being said, if you're listening right now and would like to throw a comment in, maybe a topic you would like us to talk about tonight, if we know about it, we'll talk about it. If not, we can do a quick search and see what it is. We can use this kind of a question and answer night as well. But we love including our audience, and we love the fact that we have a sponsor. Ronnie, let's get the sponsor information out right away.
All right. Let's do the commercial.
Hello, everybody. This is Ronnie coming to you from Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie every Monday, Wednesday, and either Friday or Saturday. But today I'm here to talk to you about Sergeant D's Coffee Beans. Now, Sergeant D is a veteran-owned company. Very good coffee. You can several different ways. I've tried some. It's amazing. I've got some right here. You can see Sergeant D right now in Columbus, Indiana, at the Sears Winter Market every other Saturday. Very good stuff. Thank you to Sergeant D's Coffee Beans. Please visit him on Facebook, Sergeant D's Coffee Beans, or on the web where you can order some, sergeantdscoffeebeans.com. Thank you very much. Good stuff.
And this Saturday, he will be at the very last Winter Market, downtown Columbus at the old Sears building. So go check him out there.
And we have a couple of other leads on sponsors. We got some ideas on how to incorporate multiple sponsors into what we do. And so if you know someone that you think would be interested in being a sponsor here with Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie, let us know. We're doing our very best to move this thing up to the next level, and sponsorship is going to be one of the things that is necessary. And look, your mama is in the comments.
I just saw that. Well, hey, so I just came up with a news article, and it's very fascinating. I wanted to touch on real quick since Mama's here. This is an article entitled 15 Dying Professions That Are Not Worth Striving For in the Future. Number one is factory workers. I'm talking about robots and taking over. Travel agents. So we may know a couple of travel agents. Reporters, number 3. You know, our I don't know, maybe an AI alien will take over for me. I don't know. Maybe an AI alien. Administrative assistants, translators, bank tellers, cashiers, bookkeepers, postal workers, customer service representatives, dispatchers. I don't know how I'd like AI to take a 911 call. Computer programmers. Number 13 is corrections officers. So you're going the way of the dinosaur there, Mama. Retail workers and projectionists. So I guess people who play movies at the movie theater. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know how I feel about that list with corrections officers.
Well, hopefully she'll be retired before then and not have to worry about it. And you think the stories that your mama tells us and ones you've lived through yourself can be handled by a robot?
It makes no sense to me. What? This is working in a prison as a corrections officer can be a difficult job. And while there's always a need for corrections officers, the number of positions needed is on the decline. One reason the cutback as corrections officers is the reduction of inmates, which was declining for several years. According to the FBI, the decline started around 2014. And although the total of number of inmates might increase, prisons have learned to operate with less staff. I don't know about that. I don't know. It
seems like there's plenty of work for your mom. She always has something going on, that's for sure.
That's right.
Well, the story that is dominating the headlines is your mom being in the comment section right now. Good thing she isn't on with us on camera. She'd be her face would
Right.
be red.
She made me a
She'd go
little
into
angry.
a soapbox rant at this point, but you are a stir upper.
Hey,
Now,
I'm just a
see, dear,
reporter. I just see the news and I report it.
hey, looky there. It is our Canada, not Canada, but Great Britain friend, Susan.
Yes, yes. Hello.
What's the big news story
Welcome
today in
back.
Great Britain? Yes, welcome back. And tell us what the big story in Great Britain today is. Um, and so it's always fun. Well, I'll tell you some of the things we're going to cover. Ronnie, you got a couple things that you want to tell her we're going to do?
Well, we've got Pam Bondi kind of getting yelled at and her serving it right back up. I got a couple Kennedys. A Canadian mass shooting, actually.
Oh, that's horrible.
Eight killed in a Canadian school and home. James Vanderbeek, the Beak from Dawson's Creek and Varsity Blues died. He passed
Yeah,
away
I
of
seen that.
cancer. The Beak. I don't know.
Well,
5 months since Charlie Kirk, since we lost Charlie Kirk. I've got a little tribute for him.
I've got one that you almost have to go looking for to find. President Trump stuns the world by announcing 200 troops will be deployed to Nigeria to train forces to destroy terrorists, unaliving Christians. So, Susan, what is bad, or why is the prime minister not a good dude? Tell us, or give us a link, and we'll talk about it. That's pretty amazing about Trump sending troops to Nigeria. Dan Bongino headed back to Fox News and got a little bit on Erica Kirk talking about the halftime show. And of course, the big story that is going on, the kidnapping case continues. It was kind of a day of kind of like busy work yesterday, but nothing really evolved out of all of the things that were being looked into. There was a
It's kind of
person
much to do
detained.
about nothing.
Yesterday was for them for sure.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about that for a minute. Let's look at some timeline and evidence. It's there's a lot of varied opinions on what's going on. Most of the professionals and the experts in that field have said that there's nothing normal about this kidnapping. That it's it doesn't fit the typical billing, as in, there are certain patterns that kidnappers that are holding people for ransom do, and this is not holding true. But of course, the lady that was kidnapped, 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, she is the mother of Today's Show co-anchor Savannah Guthrie. She went missing from her home on February the 1st, which is will be 2 weeks this coming Sunday. The FBI, the Sheriff's Department, tons of resources put in on this investigation. She disappeared in the middle of the night. The investigators have found blood on her porch matching her DNA. Surveillance footage from her Nest doorbell camera released on February 10th shows a masked individual wearing a ski mask, gloves, and a backpack, appeared to be armed with a pistol in a holster. He approached her door and tampered with the camera. Multiple ransom notes have been received, some sent to media outlets like TMZ, with reports of demands potentially in the millions. Yesterday, the 10th and the 11th, a man was detained near the Mexican border in Rio Rica, Arizona, for questioning. Based on leads, he was released after several hours without charges. The man claimed he was unaware of the case. Experts note this case is highly unusual. Kidnappings of elderly individuals are rare. Random stranger abductions also often involve some connections to the victim, and then you've got people that are upset that so many resources. I've heard people say if their loved one was kidnapped, would the same amount of resources be put in there? I watched a video of Sheriff Lamb, who is running for Congress in Arizona, questioning, saying the same question. Would they be putting, would Kash Patel be on the ground in Tucson?
The director of the FBI.
Would the President of the United States be acknowledging that and saying all resources? I know that this kind of policing, usually this would be a state and a local issue. The FBI has almost gotten away. But, historically, the FBI has been involved in these things. So maybe we're getting back to some old time police work that includes the feds, as some people would say. But we really, we could talk all night. Well, one of the streams that we follow was on yesterday for 10 straight hours, and maybe longer. I stopped it. Well, I didn't watch all 10, but when I stopped, he had gone over the 10-hour mark. And, we talked again today that breaking news and things like that are important, and we want to cover breaking news. But the breaking news from the last few days is not much. Not much.
I did see this, and I thought the guy was kind of full of it, but now that I see more information on it, they think they found the Garden of Eden. The guy I watch on TikTok, his name is Hello America or something like that. He's very foul mouthed, but he showed this and when talked about it, they think they found the location of the Garden of Eden and where the 5 rivers meet, the Tigris, Euphrates, the other 3, I don't, forgive me. But yeah, they actually think they found the dry riverbed in Egypt, and that's where the possible Garden of Eden location is, according to the Bible. So I thought that was pretty neat.
There's been people from places for centuries that have wanted to figure that out, and that would be awesome if there were more information. And I'm not like a geek on it, but I love those kinds of stories about excavations of biblical things. I love the fact that they're always finding things in Israel, and none of them ever contradict Christianity. They always confirm.
Exactly.
And Now,
So,
to me, the next story I'm going to play is a major story. And again, it may be one that you haven't heard of, but this will probably upset you. I did some research uh, on this, and I believe what she is saying is accurate. And I will have, I started to just go with it, forgot to share my screen.
Going viral of a female high school wrestler who says she was sexually assaulted by an opponent that she thought was another girl, except it wasn't. And the video evidence is pretty messed up. Callie Keeler, a 16-year-old sophomore at Rogers High School in Washington State, says no one told her that she was actually wrestling a biological male. In the video of the event, Callie can be seen clearly going into distress during the match and trying to communicate with her mom, who couldn't understand what she was saying above all the noise. Callie says the other wrestler sexually assaulted her by ramming his fingers repeatedly into her genitals and refusing to let go. She says she let herself be pinned just to make it stop. Only after the match did a coach from another school inform her that she was actually wrestling a 190-pound biological male. So Callie reported the incident to her school, who she says did absolutely nothing and ignored mandatory reporting requirements. Only after an independent news outlet reached out to the school for comment 2 months later did the school finally file a police report. Callie then learned that over a dozen female students at the male wrestler's school had reported him for making them uncomfortable in the girls' locker room. Almost like someone could have seen this coming. This is what actual girls are being forced to endure in order to prop up the left's little gender war in support of mentally ill people and perverts. They're being trounced in sports. They're being beaten in boxing rings. They're being gawked at and groped in bathrooms. And now they're being assaulted on wrestling mats. So hope you're proud of yourselves, libs. So much for women's rights. Video is now going viral.
that is just so infuriating.
You know, sometimes you just
Absolute, you can hang out with us as long as you want.
sometimes you just have to let the story tell itself, and it's hard to react.
Who honestly didn't sit back at any point and think about this and go, you know what, that might be a possibility, or you know what, maybe one of these tranny liberal fruitcakes are going to go follow my 11-year-old daughter into the bathroom when I'm not paying attention at Walmart. I know I have, and you know, their feelings, or their how they feel inside or see themselves inside, doesn't trump my daughter's safety. Doesn't trump anyone's safety. Period.
Well, some things about that story in particular, the fact that she had no clue that she was wrestling
No
a
clue.
male.
Yeah.
Whoever's responsible for that should be fired from whatever their position is, if not sued or had charges filed against them.
And then not reporting it for some time. You know, what was the point? What was the point of that? Not reporting it? Well, it's covering it up, so you know the pink-haired nose ring liberals can feel okay about it. That's not right. It's a crime. It should have been reported immediately.
Well, and you can see a lot in the video that is of the match, and I think the trans person in that match should have charges filed against him.
Absolutely.
I mean, and you continue to add, and the person's teammates felt awkward. Yeah, it's just one of those where if you and I were to continue on this line, we'd end up being so mad that we'd want to throw our cameras and because there's just no excuse for these kind of things. The, you know, that's way, way, way above the transgender subject. We're talking criminal subjects there. And you know, we could talk again for hours about the transgender subject, and this transcends way past a guy 100. It didn't give her weight, and which is unusual in that wrestling in high school is normally by weight class, and
Yeah.
I'm not that familiar with female wrestling. It's taken off big time. I mean, both of our schools here in town have female wrestling programs, which used to never be the case. But you know, I have a hard time believing, looking at that she come close to weighing 190. I don't know that, but man. And let's go from this one to what you have on the shooting in Canada, because there is a little bit of a tie-in between those two. Didn't do this intentionally, but there is a tie-in.
All right. I got a little video and then some words on it.
I understand that there are 10 people in total who are dead, 2 different sites. 8 of the people who died as a result of the shootings were at the school, including an individual we understand is the suspected shooter, who is believed to have died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. There are about 25 people who have been triaged by health authorities with various physical injuries, some profoundly serious, and some more minor injuries. Right now, information is very limited as police do their work, and the RCMP has asked for patience as they work through methodically to ensure that they are supporting families and getting to the bottom of what happened today.
Police say they responded to reports of an active shooter at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School about 1:20 p.m. on February 10th, discovered dozens of people wounded with a range of injuries. Victims were also found in a home believed to be connected to the school shooting. The suspected shooter was also found dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, bringing the total number deceased to 9. This is old. It's one of the worst mass shootings in Canada's history. In a nation that rarely sees types of shootings more common in the United States with stricter gun laws than its southern neighbor. Come on. Community of Tumbler Ridge is remote with a population of 2,400, about 700 miles north of Vancouver. I join Canadians in grieving with those whose lives have been changed irreversibly today, and in gratitude for the courage and selflessness of first responders who risk their lives to protect their fellow citizens, Canadians Prime Minister Mark Carney said, "Our availability to come together in a crisis is the best of our country. Our empathy, our unity, and our compassion for each other." Tumbler Ridge Middle School will be closed. Secondary school will be closed the rest of the week. The school said on its website, the small school boasts its tremendous sense of community. I will know every victim. We are a small community, Tumbler Ridge Mayor Daryl Caracca told CBS News. That little jab there, in the middle of, looser gun laws and all that, and mass shootings of its southern neighbor. Come on. What was that necessary? What was it? Again, don't let, Don't let a disaster go to waste or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Liberal media cannot let a good disaster go to waste.
Well, the liberal media probably wouldn't tell you this, we don't usually give names because we don't want to make them famous, but the name here is important. An 18-year-old local resident named Jesse Van Rootselaar, who identified as female and had transitioned approximately 6 years prior, according to the police descriptions, carried out the attack. He had dropped out of the targeted school, Tumber Ridge Secondary School, about 4 years earlier and had a documented history of mental health issues, including prior police welfare checks at her home. The shooting that was involved away from the school, the shooter first killed two relatives, his 39-year-old mother and 11-year-old stepbrother at home in town. So there is a little additional, and there's where I said that the tie-in with the previous story.
If I had a million guesses, I never would have guessed that. But then I started thinking about it, and it's like when I read that little jab there, about Canada's horrible southern border folks that just go around shooting up schools all the time. I wondered. I didn't want to say, but I wondered. But transgender person. Too bad that's never happened in the loose gun laws of the United States.
Well,
oh geez, two boys
I was
stabbed
going
in
to
a
say,
school in the UK yesterday. Oh my gosh, yeah, I couldn't agree more. Schools need to be safe.
I was going to make a comment that it wasn't the gun laws in the UK there that caused the issue. It was two boys stabbed, which would indicate that you don't have to have a gun in order to attack fellow pupils. The mental health issue, the common theme in the Canada situation was transgender and mental health. And there's issue, as Susan says here, mental health is bad in the Western world. The UK attack was an ex-pupil, allegedly. Yeah, there. I knew I could, if that was right up Troy's alley.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Cain killed Abel with a rock. Welcome, Troy. Glad to see you're here. Susan here just verifies what we talk about. The gun laws there are different, but we have bad knife crime in the UK.
Yeah, because it's not the gun that kills people. I've got two right above me. They've never gotten up, walked downstairs, and shot anybody. It's the weapon. It's the person. Because, like Troy said, Cain killed Abel with a rock. People got stabbed in the UK with a knife. Having strict gun laws is nothing. Having no gun laws is nothing. There in the UK, they have extremely strict gun laws. Two individuals were stabbed. I mean, yeah, there's huge knife crime in the UK. I understand that some police don't even carry firearms. They have to be specialized armed police to carry firearms. And for me, that's just...
I'm sure Susan can confirm or expound upon that. The thing that is continuing to be more bothersome every time a transgender shooting or whatever choice of weapon is, are we even looking at that as an issue? Are we, surely somebody is trying to dig into the explosion of transgender violence. I mean, it's not been that long ago where one of the biggest things you heard about transgender was that
suicides.
If you didn't listen to what they said, or they would commit suicide. So we've gone from the big deal violence wise being suicides to mass shootings. Go ahead and follow what Susan said there. We'll throw that up on the screen.
Let's see. We had a mass shooting back in the 80s or so, and families stood up and campaigned to change the gun laws, but they were never like the constitutional rights you guys have. Yeah. That's always been my thing. It's never been about the weapon, and we've talked about this. My goodness, we talk about this every single time that there's a mass shooting or something like that. We don't have a gun law issue in the United States. We have a mental health issue in the United States. 200 years
So,
ago, they built giant monstrosities that if anybody was having mental health issues, they would go there, they would live there, they would get treatment. Some would get out, some would not. Um, they don't have that. They've defunded mental health. Right now, the best you can get is a 72-hour vacation, and at the psych ward at CRH. But that doesn't solve mental health issues. That would not take this transgender person and get them to not bring a firearm into school. And that's just what drives me insane is people, they're not gun laws. Because look at the UK. There's no guns in the UK. People are still getting hurt. People are still getting killed. It has nothing to do with the mode of it. It has everything to do with the why of it. And people don't want to look at that. They want to look at, guns. Ban guns. When are we going to do something about banning guns? How many more kids are going to have to die before we ban guns? Banning guns is not going to change it. Not going to change it. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox.
well, we're shortly to. Well, I don't know what to expect from the left on this Canada shooting. We may hear deafening silence because that really goes against
not a
goes
word.
against their agenda.
Yeah.
Seeing as how Canada is such a much safer place than the United States, that safer place,
More crime,
and
more
another
homelessness, more
transgender,
drugs.
and now it's another transgender, and a mass shooting happened in a place where gun laws are much stricter than ours.
Yeah.
And
Just think about it, leftists. If more gun laws make people safer, then the United Kingdom and Canada and Australia should be the safest places on the planet. Doesn't it make sense? Because they have the strictest gun laws. But wait, it's not? So maybe it's almost just like it's the gun laws aren't the be all end all. And don't get me wrong. Not for a minute am I bashing the UK, Australia, Canada. No, I'm not. I am not. New York is the same way. California, you can't carry a firearm in New York and California. Chicago, you can. There's just a lot of ways to get to it. But don't you think that if it was harder to get a gun, that those would be some safe areas? Chicago, New York, L.A.
Well, we know gun laws don't work in the United States.
Or anywhere in the world.
Actually, when it's hard to compare the United States with any other country, because I don't know of any other country that has a Second Amendment like we do, that says that that's your right.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to compare apples and apples, but you can certainly compare LA and New York and Chicago and Washington, D.C. That's probably the big four when it comes to weapons. And, we had to send the National Guard in to clean up D.C.
Yeah.
The other ones we sent the National Guard to L.A. And they fought it the whole way. And I think Susan
right there
nails it. Values, behavior, and shared moral. It's a moral issue.
Absolutely.
And we've said, but I think the left, they actually have a point. Both sides say the same thing every time, and I personally don't see any fix coming anytime soon, because both sides are so firm in their beliefs, and it'll be.
I'm just saying, if A doesn't work, obviously it hasn't worked. Obviously it's not going to work. Try B. What's wrong with that? You know, if taking the guns away doesn't stop gun crime, then why don't we try going back a little bit and looking at mental health? Why don't we try and give, you know, a little bit more mental health, like Mom said? Let me pull it back up here. Yeah, you get that 72-hour vacation. You have to go through a stress team evaluation. If you don't say the right, use the right keywords, they're going to set you loose. And even then, it's 72 hours. You can bide your time. Say you get an emergency detention, you can twiddle your thumbs for 72 hours. Get released, get your cell phone, get your gun, and go shoot up the place. That's the problem.
Well, and your mom deals with that on a regular basis. I mean, she's constantly
Absolutely.
got people threatening suicide. Some of the inmates want to go to the stress unit, anything to get out for a little bit. And yeah.
I'm looking up Lee Rigby.
Well, I am going to,
Susan's comment.
as you do that,
Let's
I'm
see
going
here.
to share my screen here. And I will pull that off for right now. I just wanted to get it to where I could get to it. Well, maybe there's something out there. You know, your mom says, put me out of business. And then earlier, you read that correctional officers is one of the dying breeds in the job market. So maybe there's something out there that we don't know about the mental health situation going to be totally and quickly addressed. I'm thinking probably not, but that's
So this comes from Susan. Remember Lee Rigby. On the afternoon of 22 May 2013, May 22nd, for those of you here in the States, British Army soldier Fusilier Lee Rigby of the Royal Regiment of Fusiliers was attacked and killed by Islamic terrorist Michael Adobajo and Michael Adebwala, forgive me, near the Royal Artillery Barracks in Woolwich, southeast London. Rigby was off duty and walking along Wellington Street when he was attacked. Those two individuals ran him down in a car, then used knives and a cleaver to stab and hack him to death. The men drug Rigby's body onto the road and remained at the scene until police arrived, informing passersby that they had murdered Rigby to avenge Muslims killed by the British military. Unarmed police arrived at the scene 9 minutes later after emergency call was received and set up a cordon. Armed police officers arrived 5 minutes later. Well, I bet that was 5 minutes of puckering right there, waiting on the guys with guns to show up. The assailants, armed with a cleaver and brandishing a gun, charged at the police, who fired shots that wounded them both. They were apprehended and taken to separate hospitals. The gentlemen were of British Nigerian descent and were raised as Christians and converted to Islam. Wow. To be one of those unarmed officers waiting that 5 minutes for the guys with guns to show up.
That's
see what Mom say. Banning guns works and ban crime. Yeah, absolutely. How about we make dealing drugs illegal and taking drugs illegal and stealing things illegal and driving over the posted speed limit illegal and not driving with a seatbelt illegal? How about we do that? Because if it's illegal, then nobody will do it. Well, but it's the same. I'll go back to sleep. You know what?
See, I told you we'd end up with plenty to talk about.
Speaking of guns, and I kind of wanted to show this, and I completely forgot it. I'll play this one.
This man survived being shot at 17 times. This woman took 17 shots at this man, and by the grace of God, he didn't get hit a single time.
Makes sense. Glad he's okay. She must have been seeing somebody on the side. Listen, did you know that the German chocolate cake was invented in Texas? Well, now you do.
You saw her eyes, right? Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Somehow,
Oh,
by the grace of God, maybe she was seeing someone on the side.
well, let's go to, well, I would say a happier topic. It's not a happy topic because uh, it's just a topic that uh, there are memories of when it was a much better time. Let me
I want
get
to
that.
serve this country. I want to try to continue to I do. I want to honor God in all that I do. I want to be a great husband, a great father. I want to serve this country. I want to try to continue to lead this movement and to speak truth and to never lie. To stop thinking about yourself all the time and instead think about what you should do to help other people and to defend this country above yourself. I'm so inspired. This army of freedom fighters, we're going to be around for the next 100, 200 years because we know in the end our ideas will win. God should be the most important thing in your life. But then beyond that, it's getting married, having children, building families. My kids are my most important thing in my work. My wife, my kids, my relationship with God, the top three things. And the more often that you choose the deep, the difficult, but the right path over the easy path is one that will reward you, your family, and this beautiful nation. I want to honor God in all that I do.
Boy, I miss him.
I've got one as well.
I think of you all the time. Now that you're gone.
It was brief but meaningful.
Absolutely. Did you say 6 months? Is that what you said? 5 months?
Well, was it September 10th?
Yes. 5 months.
September, October, November, December, January, February. Yep.
It seems like it's been forever, and it seems like it was
really
just
does.
yesterday. It's kind of interesting how that works. You look at something from one aspect, and it seems like it's way longer, and then you look at it from another aspect. It just seems like it was yesterday. I mean, it just seems like we should be able to pull up a YouTube video of something that did just happen yesterday with Charlie Kirk. Now we can, it's going to be the rest of our lifetime, I'm sure, that we'll be able to pull YouTube videos up, but they're not new ones.
But see ones that we've never seen before because he did so many.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think the video that I played was the one that was with the halftime show. They finished off with Kid Rock's last song, and then and that was about 56 seconds of a tribute. And I think that's the one that was Sunday. I don't know. The good memories are there, but boy, the sadness, I don't know we'll ever overcome the sadness. If you would, those that are listening, if you would throw in a like or a love or a smiley face, some kind of emoji there, we would appreciate that. We're trying to do a lot of different things, and everything that works well includes having lots of numbers of followers, lots of action on the well, it's going to lead me right into a story. Yes, I am Charlie. It's going to lead me right into a story that your mom and I experienced last night. But algorithms and things like that all factor into how many people see you, and the more that see you, the better things go. So last night, after your mom got off work, we left. She gets off work at midnight. We had to take her Jeep to Indianapolis. Actually, Greenwood. And now she's got me laughing. We had to drop her Jeep off. They wanted it there before 8 o'clock this morning. And with her getting off that late at night, that wouldn't have left very many hours of
This
sleep.
clip went nuclear for all the wrong.
My apologies. My apologies. I
I
was trying to move it and I apparently clicked it.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
So we took it up, we dropped it off, and we were having a hard time finding where the drop box was for the key, mainly because they had so many cars outside to be repaired. But so I walked up to a door, there's nothing there, got back in, moved around to the next door, nothing there. And all of a sudden, well, I said to your mom, well, if their video cameras are watching us, we're obviously not crooks because we're driving a Jeep that has the word Sarge on the side, like nobody would ever be able to figure that out. And just as I said that, their security system comes out with, "You are under surveillance." Your mom cracked up so loud because I was the one on the outside of the Jeep. Then we go back to Denny's in Whiteland and had a meal at about 2 a.m. And so there was a foreign gentleman. I would guess him Pakistani or Indian probably, and he was a DoorDash driver, and they weren't very busy inside of the restaurant, but the waitress told us that they had just had 10 DoorDash orders back to back. And this DoorDash driver was upset because they weren't taking him and his DoorDash order first. That basically his DoorDash order was more important than those people who had taken their time to come in and get their food. And nothing against DoorDash because Troy's in here and I figure she knows more about DoorDash than anybody I know. But this guy said, he was frustrated with them and he said, just this could cause me 2 points on my algorithm. And I'm like, oh, good Lord. Can you imagine people? Can you imagine your grandpa? I mean, he died in 2017. So 9 years ago, this August, he passed away. And could you imagine him wondering what in the world it meant that a DoorDash driver was concerned about their algorithm?
The algorithm, yeah.
So we had a pretty good laugh. The waitress came over after he was gone and apologized for him, acting out a little bit. And so there's our.
I was just worried about his algorithm. That's great. Oh, gee whiz. Well, let's see here. What else do I got? How about Senator Kennedy?
Who is your CEO?
Dan Schulman is the CEO.
Could you get closer to the mic, please?
Dan Schulman is
Why
the CEO.
isn't he here today?
Senator, I understood that you wanted a legal department representative.
No, we invited him. Why didn't he come?
Senator, that was my understanding is that you were looking for legal department testimony.
Well, does he know you're here?
Yes, Senator.
Oh. Is he too tired? I mean, is he too busy to come?
Absolutely not. Mr. Schulman is very focused on finding the right solutions for the committee.
I can tell.
We've been talking about.
Does he not respect the United States Senate?
He absolutely respects the United States Senate.
Maybe he's tired. Could he be tired? I looked up his salary last year. He made $71 million. Maybe he's been up all night counting his money and he's tired. Could that be it?
No, Senator. Mr. Schulman has only recently been appointed the CEO of Verizon.
Makes sense.
Well, since Troy and, or I started to say Troy and Sonia, since Troy is here, but really for Bill and Tanya, we have more Senator Kennedy. Your mom sent me this. It's really long, so I'm not going to play that much of it, but this is baby Kennedy.
Let me just say for the record, my aunt's Facebook page has more credibility than you do. He's going to knock it to Uranus. He's going to knock it into a new zip code. The so-called moderate Democrats have come together and they're going to support us. I think they're still stamping their little feet. I don't believe they will support us. They hate him so much that if President Trump came out in favor of breathing to live, they would hold their breath. In fact, most members of the Senate are running around like ants in a sugar bowl, like a bunch of headless chickens. I like Senator Sanders, but he's a light that attracts a lot of strange moths. They need to be put down their juice boxes and be adults and, I don't know, drink a big old tall glass of Get Over It. My mama didn't raise a fool, and if she did, it was one of my brothers. They can steal your socks without taking your shoes off. I talk to myself. I say, Kennedy, today you're going to follow Jesus. And by 10 o'clock, I still want to follow Jesus, but I also want to slap the hell out of somebody. As I've said about her before, I think she's the reason there are directions on a shampoo bottle. Someday pigs may fly, but I doubt it. It looks like it was put together by a heroin addict with a socket wrench. The American people look at it and they just want to jump out of a moving car. If the White House during the President Biden's term had discovered life on Mars, they would have sent it money immediately.
It is delivering.
So there was actually about 2 more minutes of those and apparently baby Kennedy is a thing, and I guess we'll have to keep our eye on baby Kennedy, Ronnie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm just going to highlight some news stories. We didn't do the headlines like we've not done that much this week, but let me. I got to get the right one here, and get back to my profile and bring it back online. Oh, as you have said, boy, we could use a producer, and we had another employee that we needed. I don't remember what that one was from a couple nights ago.
True crime reporter.
Oh, yes. The Fetterman is a yes on the SAVE Act to secure elections in the U.S. That, along with 49 Republican co-sponsors, is 50, meaning that Vice President Vance could break the tie, and that the 4 GOP holdouts won't matter if Senator Thune was to nuke the filibuster. So that we'll have to see. My gut says he won't do it, and if he doesn't do it, that will fall by the side.
Yeah, for sure.
You've got a Pam Bondi video, don't you?
I have several.
Well, let's go with that now. Let me pull this off, and you go with some Pam Bondi.
How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
First, you showed it. I find it.
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No,
Your
you're going to answer the
theatrics are
question the way I
ridiculous.
asked it.
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch. Not on our time. No way. And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
You're a lawyer, not even a lawyer. There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that. This has been the most transparent presidency.
I'm going to put up another document from a witness who called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center because I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein file.
Don't you ever accuse me of a crime.
I believe you just lied under oath, and this is all on videotape. You said there's no evidence of a crime. I'm showing you. Here is a witness statement who called into the FBI's Threat Operations Center. He drove Donald Trump around in a limo. He overheard what Donald Trump said to Jeffrey on his cell phone. He was so angry, he was going to stop a limo and hurt Donald Trump. And he met a girl who said she was raped by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She later had her head blown off, and officers at the scene said that could not have been suicide. No one at the Department of Justice interviewed this witness. You need to interview this witness immediately. Epstein should rot in hell. So should the men who patronized his operation. And as we sit here today, there are over 1,000 trafficking victims, and you have not held a single man accountable. Shame on you. If you had any decency, you would resign right after this hearing.
Well, there is zero credibility there.
No.
If Donald Trump was responsible for having a woman's head blown off, I really think that the Biden administration would have pushed that card.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, Bondi, she just is done taking crap from Congress.
Oh, yeah.
You know, technically, that's Congress's home court. That, you know, it's their hearing, it's their procedures, and her saying, I'm going to answer it the way I want, not the way you want. You know, I get what she's saying. Both sides of the aisle try to trap people into what they want to hear.
Yeah.
But, and she's done this enough now that she's not going to deal with it anymore. And, and to our friend from Great Britain, the UK, I apologize for what you just saw from that. I'm pretty sure that was the house today that she was at. And that was an embarrassment.
I've got one more.
Let's go.
More.
I believe Wexner's name was listed more than 4,000 times.
Yeah, I already told you that. This is where he's listed as a co-conspirator.
Can I finish my answer? Come on, let me finish my answer. We corrected that within 40 minutes. He was already, you're acting like everybody's trying to cover up Wexner's name. Within 40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
There was one redaction out
Where
of
he's
over
listed as a co-conspirator.
4,700, and we invited you in. This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to get, you're a failed politician. Did you ask Merrick Garland that the last 4 years? Did you talk about Epstein?
I am reclaiming my time. I'm glad you're asking about Merrick Garland.
You don't get to reclaim time when you don't.
This is bigger than Watergate.
When I don't answer a question the way you
This goes
want.
over 4 administrations. You don't have to go back to Biden. Let's go back to Obama. Let's go back to George Bush. This cover-up spans decades, and you are responsible for this portion of it.
I love how she tells him this guy is TDS syndrome and he is a failed politician. And
I mean, she sounds just like Trump in some of the things she says.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And so now we've gone all the way back to the Bush administration, which
Good.
is, yeah. And that means Bush, Clinton, uh, Obama. Who was after? Oh, Clinton, Bush, Obama.
Yeah. Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama.
Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama. Yeah.
Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump.
And just now, Pam Bondi's who's responsible.
Right? Yeah. She's responsible for it. That makes total sense. Total sense.
Wonder why they didn't want all of those documents dropped when Bush or when Sleepy Joe was in office.
Well, just like everybody in the entire world noticed, Sleepy Joe had some kind of degenerative issue, and he couldn't walk off a stage properly. He would turn around and shake hands with nobody that was there. He couldn't climb a ladder. He couldn't ride a bike. He couldn't walk on the beach. But he was perfectly fine, and he was cognizant and absolutely, full control of his faculties, and was just killing it. But Orange Man bad, so he stumbles, and it's headline news. So yeah, why didn't he come out with Sleepy Joe Biden? Why didn't he come out that he was losing his mind and when he first couldn't walk off a stage without asking for directions? What about Easter at the White House when the Easter Bunny had to lead him around? Did you see that? Yeah.
You can't make that line up. The president of the United States was led around by the Easter Bunny.
The president of the United States, his sister on one side and his wife on the other, and he comes up on the stage and he introduces them as the opposite person.
Whew.
This man was a leader of the free world for 4 years.
Well, that's what they say.
Well,
that's what they say. Well, we have had lots of comments. We appreciate all of them. We have a few people that have put their emojis in up there. If you're still listening and haven't done that, we appreciate it. Ronnie, what you got to finish us out with?
Nothing really. This how about Trump wanting to build an arch? Sounds pretty good.
President Trump wants to build an arch. He wants it to be the biggest, and he wants it to be right here. The proposed Independence Arch is 250 feet tall to mark the country's 250th anniversary. That's the equivalent of a 16 to 20-story building. The size and scope have raised some concerns. Approaching planes are flying past at about 492 feet, leaving very little room for error. The Federal Aviation Administration is going to have to study this along with other key reviews in the coming months. It would also obstruct a historically significant view between the Lincoln Memorial and Arlington House at Arlington National Cemetery. That was the former home to Confederate leader Robert E. Lee, and according to the National Park Service, the bridge between these two memorials is a physical and symbolic link between the North and South. It would be 30 feet bigger than the world's largest monumental arch in Mexico City and about 100 feet taller than Paris's L'Arc de Triomphe. Smaller options were presented, but a source familiar with the plans tells me that Trump is dead set on this size.
It'll be substantial. I'd like it to be the biggest one of all.
Blocking the view or some crap that nobody's ever heard of. In all honesty, I'd never heard of the Arlington House until that video.
It's very cool.
North and south. Yeah, it just sounds dumb to me. Blocking the bridge view. But Susan here says, didn't see Maxwell or Epstein hanging out at Trump's kid's wedding, saw whatever. They called her Mama G or whatever. At Chelsea Clinton's. You're exactly right. And that's something that a lot of people forget. Of course, they conveniently forget that. I'm glad you brought that up.
So we have a person over the pond that understands this topic better than liberals understand this topic.
But better than the pink-haired nose ring liberals over here that no matter what, Orange Man bad.
Now, they've had plenty of pink hair on the other side of the pond.
Oh, I'm sure.
I remember and I don't know if I've told this story on here before, but my last few months in the military, I got sent back to Germany for. It's too long a story to give the what for. I got sent back to Germany with a girl from North Carolina, and we landed in the Munich airport, and this was before colored hair. Well, colored hair other than blonde had hit the United States, and we were walking through the lobby, and there was a lady with bleach blonde hair with a bright pink stripe right through the middle. I mean, it was a lot of pink, more pink than white. And, you know, North Carolina and her accent, she said, "What in the world is that?" So, yeah, I got my introduction into pink hair and colored hair back in about 1984 in Munich, Germany.
That's awesome.
Well, I'm content. Really enjoy the banter and the comments. Here we didn't have anything to talk about, and we're almost at 15 minutes after the hour. And I think it's been a good night. You know, you and I can kind of get a feel, I think, of how things went. And one of the things that tell us that is the interaction between the audience. And I've noticed that on the other three streams that I watch. I watch Tusi, if that how you say it, Tusi. I watch Agenda Free. Actually, I watch four. I watch Chuck Holton, and I watch TBN Israel. Of those four, three of them have a long period of answering questions and interacting with the comments that are put in. Yeah, see, Tusi TV is based in Great Britain. So again, back to what I was saying, we enjoy the comments, and thank you. Thank you. People are saying good night, and one person in particular there loves us.
Oh, she don't count.
Oh, it's a good thing you'll be in bed when she gets here. You got a work day, so I know you're not staying up till after midnight.
No. I'm ready to go to bed now.
All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for being here. We haven't even talked about Friday or Saturday, so we will have to let you know. We'll post, and we will let you know. Seems like I got something going on this weekend, but and Susan, thank you for getting your sister to watch us on here. We love people, and we love what we do. So
already done. My gosh.
I tried to help him out. I tried to help him out today.
Already done.
Yeah.
You just scrub them and put them in the dishwasher.
Oh, thank you for being here with us. I'll be solo this weekend, whichever day it is. As a matter of fact, we're going to have to change the name of this show to Red, White, and True with Pastor Ed. And, you know, that makes it longer putting the pastor in there because Ronnie's going to be dead by the time we continue. Say goodnight, Ronnie.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for being here.
See you the next time, either Friday or Saturday, unless something breaks down sooner. And until we see you again, go out and do the right thing.
Thank you for joining us for today's live stream. This has been a presentation of Ed Boston Media.